All right, how you guys doing? We are here today. We're gonna mess around with a recipe for oilskin cloth that this gentleman right here introduced me to. Can't remember his name, did research it ahead of time because we don't do that here on Chinese Explorers Club. We brave out into the frontier and just do it. Otherwise known as winging it. All right, so his recipe is 2 pounds of wax to 16 ounces of mineral oil. And what this does is it apparently allows for complete waterproofiness, but the oil mixed in with the wax gives it a flexibility so it doesn't just turn into, like, you know, when a candle melts and then you try to manipulate it after it's hardened, it cracks and crumbles. So the mineral oil helps it to maintain its flexibility without cracking so that you don't lose the wax, the waterproof coating, basically, when the fabric is flexing. So we're gonna give it a try. Whenever you're attempting this type of thing at home indoors, make sure you have some kind of fire suppression device available. It happens, right? Sometimes you need it. Hopefully never. Sometimes it does. Personally, the only time I've ever had to use one was when I was working in a restaurant and the freezer caught fire, electrical fire in the motor. So, all right, let's get to it. All right, guys, here is the setup. We got just a hot plate type thing. We're gonna turn that on to max heat right now. Got a pan. We're gonna put on top of that, and we're gonna fill it with water. Well, we're not gonna fill it, but we're gonna put a bit of water in it. And then the idea, kind of like a double boiler type of situation, where we have our coffee can here, and then we'll put the wax inside the coffee can. We're gonna put a little bit more water in this pan too. But the idea is that when you have this type of setup, the wax will not be able to get to a temperature greater than the water boiling. And this keeps it at a melty but sort of safe type of temperature. I'm gonna chop these a little bit just to make the melting a little faster. Good sense. All right, this is gonna need to cook for a bit, so we will be back after it's melted down. Now, what we are going to be imbuing with the wax is this cotton sheet. This is just a cotton top sheet, and I think it's a queen, maybe a king. So we're gonna have to manipulate it a couple of times because, like I said, I didn't make enough room here. But the basic idea is what we're gonna do is pour wax on, and then I'm gonna put a iron, one that I would normally use for doing my skis, to push it through and just soak it in. And supposedly this is the way you can do it. You can do it all folded up like this nicely. We're gonna, because of the space that we have here, we're gonna have to flip it around a couple times, but should not be a problem. All right, I screwed up, I did it off camera, but I realized we should just move this over. So the way to do something like when you're doing this, take the flammable hot stuff off, move burner, position it, bring your other stuff back on, okay? Don't try and move it all at once. I'm telling you, it's not a good way to do it. I mean, you can be a hero if you do it, but you can go catastrophically wrong if you're not. Now, the best way I could think to do this was just to kind of ladle it on, spread it on out, and then the idea is we'll come back with the iron and soak it in. I'm gonna put a drop on the iron itself just so I can tell when the iron is hot. Now, I'd recommend using a bigger iron if you have one. And the idea was to push down on it, right? Let the heat really come through, and that way the wax will melt all the way down, right? Because the whole idea is you keep the wax liquid, it's gonna soak through. Alright, thought I was done, but you can see, yeah, you really have to overfold where the seams were. Like this was the seam, so I folded it past it so that I could get in there and get this stuff taken care of. And we've got a tiny bit of wax left, but I still feel we're going to be able to get complete coverage. So I'm gonna just go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll bring it back tomorrow in the daylight and we'll take a look at it outside. I will spread it out and see what it looks like and put it to use. It does make a huge mess. So this is all wax stuff. I'm gonna have to try and vacuum it up in the morning when it's cold. It's all over. So yeah. So that's maybe do a drop cloth, do this outside somewhere. Sounds good? Yep. All right, there she is. And you can see there's a couple of spots, like right here you see the brighter blue. So it's mostly along the seams. It's like another spot over here. So I feel if I just got the iron out, I'd be able to smooth the rest of the wax out. You can see there's some spots where there's like a little bit of excess, and that will crumble off. You can see there it's been leaving it out in the sun to see if it would help it soak in more. But you can see here where we don't have that excess, hopefully that's apparent that it's not cracking and remaining its flexibility. Let's take a quick see how waterproof it is. That looks pretty beating to me. All right, let's leave it there for a few minutes and we'll see what happens. Minutes or so, you can see very much still beaded. Looks beaded on this side over here. So let's pour it off and see if we see any difference on the other side. Pouring it off, we see a little bit of the water stuck. flipping it over, I can't see any indication that there was water on the other side.